This next lady will get a good reception. Natalia Gorchakova, not the fastest of the Russians, but she's here, and she was 7th in the European Championships last year. Then Bobasel of Romania, and then Sofia Asefa, Olympic bronze medalist last year. She was 6th back in Daegu. She's the 3rd fastest athlete in the world this year, and her experience is growing all the time. Alami just went past then, a Moroccan, watch out for her. And then, is she the favourite? Milka Chimos, victories in Rome, Ostrava, Monaco, Birmingham, double bronze over the world, never higher. Hiwotaleu, world cross-country silver medalist this year, 5th in the Olympic Games 12 months ago. Then Chepkemoi, the smallest of the Kenyans, Krauser there, she's a pretty useful athlete, European under-23 champion. And then Etanesh Diro on the outside there, 6th in the Olympic Games last year, 3rd in Lausanne, 2nd in New York. It's a tight race, this one, but is this the day that a Kenyan woman gets her hands on this world title? The final of the women's 3,000 metre steeplechase. The 5 fastest athletes in the world this year are in this race, and it will be very intriguing to see how this unfolds. Lydia Chepkarui, fastest of them all, but that performance came in Doha a few months ago.
Well, it's Chewa at the moment leading them through over the back straight there. Alleluia on the inside, Chepkemoi coming through on the outside. So it's virtually, as we predicted, another Ethiopian-Kenyan dominance of this race, but the pace isn't that fast. They're all spreading out across the track there to get a good run at that hurdle.
Well, look at that. The first 6 athletes, Kenyan or Ethiopian, and they are determined that they will make this race their own. Hiwotaleu, very tall figure from Ethiopia. We will return to that because the drama's continuing to ratchet up here in the women's pole vault final.
The Olympic silver medalist, the last attempt now to stay in the competition at 4.82. Oh, and she's done it. Well, she has jumped 4.90. She gets off that pit pretty quickly. Walking back now, that's a very, very good pressure jump from the Cuban. Oof. Good clearance. Cubans there are loving it. So far, 3 women now over this height of 4.82. Jensa Isambayeva, and now silver of Cuba. Isambayeva now at this next height, 4.89. Oh, that's got to win it, surely. Massive jump. Just listen to that crowd. Well, there's been question marks over her this year. She's only had 3 competitions. Her coach has said that she's been vaulting tremendously well in training, and I think she's proved it here. Season's best yet again, 4.98. Well, from drama to the track.
Yes, it was startlingly loud, that. I wouldn't be surprised if even in the depth of concentration, 1 or 2 of these women in this final took note. But Aleu is still leading, the world cross-country silver medalist, and Milka Chimos Chewa on her shoulder in 2nd place, a diminutive figure. She has won so much on the circuit, and twice she's got a bronze medal in the World Championship, but she has yet to take a medal of higher colour.
Well, Aleu doing her best. I think she's got terrific strength, but we go back now quickly to the pole vault, and the answer has got to come from Jennifer Sir. 4:89. First attempt for Jennifer Sir now. Oh, it was a good vault, not far short. Zimbabwe's looking on. Well, the defending champion. Looking up, look at the way she looked. Jen said Olympic champion, I should say. Not that far short of a good vault there.
Milka Chimos-Chewa is now leading this steeplechase down the back straight. She's got her compatriot Chep Karui behind her. They're training partners. They're both coached by Chewa's husband, then Aleu and Diro.
Chep Karui also in there in the mix there, Rob. So don't forget, one of those athletes I think could be a big danger. She is very fast over the last part of the race.
Chep Karui is the taller of the figures from Kenya, just second from the back of that group there as we just get that artistic shot on the water jump. And now Diro, second in the New York Diamond League, coming up onto the shoulder of Milka Chimos-Chewa. She's got that distinctive hurdling technique, Chewa. She sort of kicks her legs out to the right-hand side. And it had increased in pace a little bit, but look how tightly they're bunched. 3 Ethiopians, 3 Kenyans, but only one can take this victory. They know each other so well. What are they plotting here over the closing stages?
Well, they went through the kilometre in 3:01.72, which is quick, and we'll get another 30 seconds or so. We'll get a 2 kilometre point.
Diro onto the shoulder of Milka Chimos. Chep Karui in third, just stuttering a little bit over that barrier. And still nothing to choose between them. Possibly Chep Kamoi just drifting off the back, the African Games champion in sixth. Just a little bit of a gap back to her now. So perhaps we now have 2 Kenyans against 3 Ethiopians, and Chemos had to just use the elbows there.
And it has slowed with that second kilometre to 6:11. So the race building up as they come up to 2 laps to go.
Much the same as it did in the women's 10,000. They're leaving it to this last lap now. And it's the 2 Kenyans followed by the 3 Ethiopians. And African dominance of this event was almost predictable. But what is it going to be? A Kenyan or an Ethiopian, which takes the crown?
Well, we haven't made much mention of Sophia Asafa, who's at the back of that quintet now. Chep Kamoi has become
there's a fall-up.
And that is such a shame. Sophia Asafa,
yep.
Well, she was there, and she'll race to try and get back up to the front as quickly as possible. We hadn't made much mention of her, but that is surely going to bring her aspirations of glory to an end. She's having a battle with Chep Kamoi, and that's a real shame. She might still get back in this, but that would be a Herculean effort if she could do so. Milka Chimos is leading, and she's decided to go for a little injection of pace.
Well, Chewa now starting to pile it on. I don't think she's got a sprint, but she's really trying her best now to stretch everybody out. As you say, she hops over the hurdle. Chep Karui now coming up into second place, so Kenya 1 and 2.
They hear the bell in the final of the women's 3,000 metre steeplechase. Milka Chimos-Chewa is leading. She's trying to stretch the pace out as best she can, but Chep Karui is still on her shoulder. It's Kenya 1, Kenya 2, Ethiopia 3.
But Chewa now going really well, pushing it on as best she can. It looks as if the Kenyans now are pulling away.
Milka Chimos still leading, Shep Karui in second. Aleyu, I think, is in third place, but it's getting tight for the bronze. That's going to be a duel between the Ethiopians, but the battle for gold is between the fabulous distance running nation of Kenya. Milka Chimos trying to stretch away from Shep Karui. She's got a gap, but is it going to be big enough? Chimos, one barrier left. That distinctive leg kick. Who's got the biggest sprint? It's going to be tight. They were starting to close, but at last, after 2 bronze medals, Chimos is the champion, and she ran the performance of her life there. Shep Karui, her training partner, and her teammates came home for second place. What a win. At last, a Kenyan female has a world title over 3,000 metre steeplechase. Milka Chimos Chewa starting to do the jig of delight, but she was made to work very, very hard for that on the last lap.
Well, good run there from Chewa. She just literally kept piling it on and on. She's really enjoying herself. Well, we saw a jig. We might see a jig from Kemboy maybe in the men's steeplechase. He does a bit of a dance afterwards as well. But that was a great run from her, really. Chewa pushed it hard all the way. No great sprint from anybody. It was just a war of attrition all the way to the line.
Steve, we ought to pay tribute as well to Sophia Assefa, the Ethiopian, who fell on the penultimate lap and managed to get back into the race and steal the bronze medal from her compatriot Hiwot Aleyu. What a dramatic conclusion to the race.
And it was indeed a Kenyan and Ethiopian dominance of all